bit of a gear switch here. Let's go back to Capitol Hill. Joining us now, our favorite New York Congresswoman, Claudia Tenney, and our favorite Pennsylvania Congressman, Lloyd Smucker. Thanks to both of you. Claudia, I'm going to begin with you. I need to go short here, but I'm going to begin with you. Here's the question. How quickly can the Ways and Means Committee report out a tax extension and tax reform bill? This is a crucial question. All right, we've had Jason Smith on. We want one bill, reconciliation bill, not 2 or 3 bills. How fast can you get one out of Ways and Means? Serious but really important question, Claudia.
We can't get one soon enough after January 20th because we just don't know what the makeup of our committees will look like, and we've got to get it through because it is the secret formula to creating the growth that President Trump needs to unleash our economy, whether it's the, dealing with energy, getting rid of inflation, the DOGE cuts, all those things are going to happen, and we've got to do it very, very quickly. And I agree with you. It has to be done in one bill. Breaking it up just only risks us getting 2 bills with nothing instead of one big bill.
Yes,
Normally,
right.
I don't like that, but it's the only way to get some of the questionable members on.
Lloyd, I'm going to ask you the same question. I need a tax bill by 100 days. Maximum 120 days. 100 days, tax bill. And then we can convince Senator John Thune, who's a good man, by the way, and he wants the agenda to get through. He's just concerned it can't be done quickly enough. But I've had Jason on the show, all right? He has said it can be done quickly. He says you all have been looking at this since April or so of this past year. How can you get it out? Can you get it out? I ask you.
I think, Larry, 100% you're correct on this. Chairman Smith is right on this. We're better off doing this as quickly as possible. We have a mandate from the American people on the border, on energy policy, and on tax policy. We can do this all at once. We can do it very quickly. I'll say this as well, though. If the administration continues to push an earlier, what they call a skinny bill, we don't have to stop working on the tax bill. So we can still get it all done. We've got to do this right. And I'll say one other piece, Larry. We've got to ensure that we're doing this in a fiscally responsible way. All of those tax cuts should be paid for with strong economic growth that drives additional revenue or spending cuts. The American people are looking for us to be fiscally responsible here. Well, we've got to change the fiscal trajectory of this country.
I don't have time to go through the whole thing, but Lloyd, you're right, but I don't agree with all that. I mean, I want dynamic scoring, Lord knows. I don't think you lose a dime of revenues. That's what Reagan tax cuts, the revenues went up. Kennedy tax cuts, the revenues went up. Trump tax cuts, the revenues went up. But Claudia, just on that point, there's a current policy baseline. You make a permanent tax cut, why should it be scored as a revenue loser or a deficit increaser? They have current services spending baselines. Those aren't scored as new deficits. They never are. Why? I don't want to settle for that. We're playing their game here.
Well, the biggest problem is, and our challenge is, we don't have a 60-vote threshold in the Senate, so we're forced into the reconciliation process, and we're forced under the parliamentary rules of the Senate. So that's why certain things cannot be done. We can't, cut Social Security, increase Social Security, cut the taxes on it as President Trump wants to do through this reconciliation. We'll have to do that in another standalone bill.
All right.
If we were doing this with a regular vote, we had a 60-vote margin, we could do that, and we would get dynamic scoring instead of the static scoring that we're getting right now going into that.
No, maybe Social Security has to wait. I understand that. You can do tips. You can do overtime. You can extend all the existing, the individual tax cuts for, they're, couple $3,000 per family, working class families for the blue collar boom. You've got the standard deduction was doubled. The kiddie credit was doubled. The small business tax deduction those are very important elements. I mean, Lloyd, I want you to get through this. But I'm just saying, look, 100 days, how about that? A little over 3 months. Yeah, I'll even give you 120 days. Just have to persuade those senators, those wonderful hidebound Republican senators who sometimes are a little bit afraid to be bold and transformational. You've got to persuade them that the House can deliver. And on tax policy, the heart of the House is the Ways and Means Committee.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We can deliver on this. We can do it in that time frame. And I'll just go back to the point I made earlier. In 1962, our tax revenue was about 17% of GDP. It still is today. That stayed fairly constant.
Yes.
In 1962, our spending was 18% of GDP. Today, it's 24%. No one can look at this and say that we don't have a spending problem, and this is our opportunity.
Well,
The American people do not want government as
you're
usual.
right.
That's why I'm so excited. I'm so excited about DOGE.
You're right.
We're gonna get rid of this bloated, massive government.
Listen, I wrote a book about the JFK tax cuts. You're exactly right, by the way. And I had a couple of wonderful senators, friends of mine, on the who led off the show that told me why there's no such thing as pay-go. We'll never cut spending. Anyway, I don't want to go into it, but it would be nice to cut spending just once in a while. Claudia Tenney, thank you very much. Congressman Lloyd Smucker, we appreciate it very much.